So, you're hanging out with your friend Kyle, and he offers you a creamsicle. You're just about to thank him when you notice its devilish orange hue. After determining that the return on investment for committing a felony is just too low, you decide to take it out on Kyle's carpet floor. As a faithful advocate for blue creamsicles, you know you can't back down. Even though blue creamsicles are objectively better, you still need to convince Kyle to rid him of his sins. The first step is to concede. Kyle may have just committed treason, but it's still important to empathize with him. Concession lets him know that you understand where he's coming from. You're essentially just acknowledging his argument so that he might come to acknowledge yours. Anyone will respond positively when they're being agreed with. You refute to disprove his argument, but try your hardest not to offend him by saying it's actually because they compliment his sour personality. You're still at it with Kyle, and he decides to prove you wrong with some Googling. Refuting the Wikipedia is obviously out of the question, so what can you do? You could stand your ground, but against overwhelming fact and evidence, you'd just look like a stubborn, uneducated loser. If you instead used this information and changed your viewpoint, you would still look like an uneducated loser, but at least you're not stubborn anymore. It's perfectly okay to alter your stance in light of newly revealed information. Opinions change all the time because people learn things that they didn't know before. If you start to notice that your friendly discussion is moving towards a violent and emotional clash, it might seem like you're just out of options. That's when you pause. Just stop for a second and let everything cool down just a little bit before jumping in with your next witty comeback. When things get emotional, they tend to stray from the mature, intellectual discussions that get stuff done. At that point, Kyle is probably ready to just jump at you for any mispronunciation or spelling mistake you might make during the conversation. You generally want to avoid this because it is counterproductive and it completely derails the discussion. There comes a time during the argument when you have to decide if the discussion is going somewhere or if it's just going to lead to anger. Now, some might argue that this whole creamsicle affair was unproductive from the beginning. Nothing is unproductive unless it's made before 1 a.m. If an argument starts to get heated, it's important to weigh the pros and cons of going through with it. Maybe you'll help them see things from a new perspective. Maybe they'll help you see things from a new perspective. Maybe you'll learn something. Your casual argument could evolve to be a win-win, but you have to consider, will you upset anyone? Will you end up spending more time and energy than the problem is worth? Do you risk losing your only friend? Ask yourself similar questions, and if you answer yes to any of them, you may just want to reach for a compromise so that everybody is happy. Maybe you can agree that creamsicles aren't so great in general, so you can both reach for an ice cream sandwich. If you can't bring yourself to compromise though, you could just stop talking. Of course, this won't work for every situation. By shutting your mouth, you save yourself the breath from having to explain to someone who is either A, as stubborn as you are, or B, too challenged to understand. Say you meet a flat earther who just flat out rejects any information that wasn't posted in a Facebook conspiracy group. They won't be convinced no matter what you say, so you might as well just shut your mouth and let natural selection take care of the rest. So even though your best friend Kyle is C, all of the above, you can still enjoy your delicious blue creamsicle knowing there's more for you.